Hello everyone, Carlos Flores, back on basics. So today's topic is going to be on self-perception. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so that way you can get notified of any new videos that are coming up. I haven't done a video in a couple of days. I've been busy with work and I've been busy with other stuff, and my school, since I'm getting my credential. My apologies. I have close to 140 videos so far, and I will do a video of, soothing music again, like I did before. So stay tuned for that. If you have any suggestions on what kind of soothing music and soothing sounds I should do, put it in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to do it for you. That's me. I'll do it for you. So hit the like button. Again, this video is on self-perception. And then one of the things that I wanted to make sure that everybody understood, right, is the definition of self-perception, right? Self-perception is, okay, if we break it apart, right, perception is how you see things around you, how you see things within you, how you see things compared to you. Perception is a huge thing, especially in psychology. Remember, I love psychology. Perception means that you're trying to figure out why this is happening to you or to others and how you interpret it. Now, if we add self, then that means perceiving yourself. I've seen, and I see many times, and I feel bad that some people just don't see themselves as like being positive or being helpful, or they don't see themselves as somebody that somebody else is going to benefit from what they know or what they've experienced. And so I'm here to tell you that self-perception is it's kind of like a two-way street, because you have to make sure that you're not thinking and you're not perceiving yourself without having somebody else just kind of tell you in a different way, in a neutral way, in kind of helping you course correct if the perception is not what others are seeing. And so that's one of the things that's very important, because your perception of yourselves is sometimes what drives the mind-body balance. And I'm telling you this because when you're not feeling good, when you're not perceiving yourself in a positive way, then things start shutting down. And I'm not saying in physical health, it could be physical health, but you're not motivated. You don't want to do things. The projects that you've started, you don't continue them, or the projects that you're almost done with, you don't finish them. And so it's hard to comprehend why sometimes we take that big dip. And it could be a lot of things. It could be something that somebody said. It could be something that somebody did. It could be nothing, right? It just could be your self-perception that you have stuck in your mind. It could be that your support system is not guiding you in the right direction because they're not seeing the entire picture. And one reason that they may not be seeing the entire picture is because you are not sharing the entire picture. You may be sharing snippets of things that are happening. And this is one of the things that I used to tell, when I did therapy, I used to tell my clients is that we as human beings, we're natural storytellers. And so the problem is, and that's the thing, the problem is that sometimes we don't get a whole story that we share or that we process, or that we talk about. We get bits and pieces. We get pieces of stories. And guess what happens? As human beings, what we tend to do is we tend to use our experiences, our perceptions, and fill in the gap with what we think is logical. Logic is not what it's being used now. In this situation, you need to go outside. You need to go to your support system. You need to go out to the village and say, am I getting this right? Do you think this is something that I should think about, or is this something that I shouldn't be worrying about? And so your support system is supposed to provide you with a very neutral, or as neutral as possible, answer, so that way you can either accept what you're perceiving, or you're not. And so again, but you have to take it with a grain of salt, because sometimes that advice that comes from your support system, or that advice that comes from your village, may not be the best or the most complete, or it may be seen different, and that just skews your perception as well. So my recommendation is talk to more than just one person. You need to make sure you talk to, my recommendation would be talk to at least 3. So that way you can get 3 different points of views, and you'll be able to either accept or reject that perception. You need to do that, because a lot of the times, right, if you accept your own self-perception, or the perception of things that are going around you, sometimes you don't take everything in, and it's misleading, and you may come to the wrong decision. But when you're talking to your support system, or you're talking to your village, it is good. But make sure that you just don't talk to one person, because that person may not perceive the things the same. So you need to get, again, right? If you think of an experiment, right? Sometimes you have to do the experiment a number of times, because you don't know if there's anything that's false leading it to a certain conclusion. And so you have to do maybe 1 or 2 or 3 experiments, right? Or trials. So that way you can see that you're really actually getting much information for you to make that decision, right? There shouldn't be information given and you take it for what it is, because a lot of the times this perception and that perception may not be identical, or may not be the best one. So again, I would recommend talking to at least 2 to 3. My take is 3 people, so that way I can do that. I do that all the time. I usually talk to either my parents, or my family, or my friends, or my mentors that I have, and I have many mentors that actually I appreciate everything that you do, because you tell me everything as neutral as possible, so that way I can make the decisions myself. It doesn't sway me in any way to whatever their take is on, their decision making is on. So again, perception, self-perception is a key thing that could either balance your mind and body, or it could lead you in a place where you feel even worse after everything is done. So it's important, right? Use your support system. Use your village. And I'm telling you, the support system it's kind of like your board, right? And so those are the close ones that will tell it like it is. You can also use your village, right? It takes a village. You have a lot of people in your village that you actually interact every day. And they can give you another take on it. Again, self-perception is very important. And so you have to make sure that whatever you're perceiving and whatever you come up with, either one thing or another, that it's not skewed. Do not. You right? Do not give yourself that option. You have to talk to multiple people. Self-perception, I mean, it's that's how we see. This is how sometimes when somebody sees themselves as being fat and they're not, but they still call themselves fat, it's not that they're not trying to get attention, or they're not trying to convince you, but they just see themselves that way. It's hard for me. Sometimes it's hard when I see somebody that has low self-esteem, but yet they have a lot of things going for them. And again, as a therapist, what I did was I had to make sure that I brought things out in a neutral way, because that way they can make the decision whether that's something that they want to pursue at this point in life, at that point of their life, or if they're going to pursue it later on, or if it's something that it's not worth pursuing, right? For me, there was lots of things, and I wish I had my village and many of the decisions that I made, because believe me, there's a lot of decisions that if I had a village and if I had my support system at that point, I wouldn't have made. And I wouldn't have the trajectory that I'm going through right now. I don't regret it. Again, don't get me wrong. But if I could have adapted a little bit, it would have been different. I would have had different results. And that's the reason why I'm making these videos. So that way you can learn from my mistakes, right? Learn from my experiences. Learn from my decisions. Make sure that you always look to your support system. Make sure that you include your village, right? My village, it's primarily here in the United States, but my village includes people that are in El Salvador. Village, the village. Those are the people that have raised me. Those are the people that know me from the beginning. Those are the people that know who I am to the core and can actually bring me back into my balance, right? Right now I feel balanced. Today in the morning I went for a 6-mile walk. I did a couple of shorts. I did one in Spanish. I did one in English. I actually did another short. I was actually going to wear my white shirt today and a bow tie that after years, I actually had to watch YouTube videos on how to tie a bow tie, and it took me forever, but I got it done, and it looked pretty good. And so, wearing a bow tie looks pretty good. But again, right? It's that perception. I sometimes tend not to make the obvious decisions because of perceptions, because of what people think. And that's not the way that it should be. It should be the people in your circle. It should be the people in your support group. It should be the people in your village, right? And sometimes people think that they're part of your support team or your village, but in reality they're not, because they always hinder the things that they do. And so those are the ones that I don't really connect with for real life decisions. Those are huge, right? What majors to have. If you're a student and you're listening to this, if you're in high school, ask not only your school counselor, ask your teachers, ask friends that have gone through, or parents that have gone through the universities that you want to go to, or the majors that they have majored in, so that way they can give you real life experience. it's huge, right? But for example, um, there's a difference between even colleges and universities. Some of them are online, some of them are synchronous. That means that you're via Zoom. My program is always synchronous. And so I'm always in Zoom doing those meetings. There's also some that are asynchronous. I teach psychology courses that are asynchronous. I teach 2 classes and I love it. It's asynchronous and I try to make it work. And sometimes I even create virtual office hours so that way the students can text me, can email me, can connect with me in different ways so that way I can answer their questions. And then face to face, right? That's the obvious one. That's the one that we've all been doing. But since the pandemic passed, there's been a lot of adjustments. There's been a lot of people working from home. There's been a lot of people working on their own. There's been a lot of people working online, right? And so for those of you that work from home, that work online, that you do your job and everything that way, make sure that you keep up with your support system, because working from home sometimes can become a very one-sided perception. That means it's just you. That means you're making decisions with whatever you have in front of you, and you don't want to do that. That's kind of like having horses with blinders. And the reason why horses have blinders this way is so that way they can just look ahead. So look at the blinders. Take off your blinders and look to the right and look to the left, right? And make sure that you take in everything, that you look at everything, that you analyze everything. And then on top of that, you get to your support system. So that way, whatever you're perceiving, you can accept it or you can reject it, right? There's a lot of different things. When I was at UC Davis, I came in as an engineering major. Then, because of things that I liked, I switched to anthropology. Believe me, I can talk to you about anthropology. Not a lot, but I can hold my own because I did have several classes in anthropology. Then I took as a kind of like a extra class or an elective, I took psychology, and then I fell in love with psychology, and that was it. And then because of that, I dropped anthropology. I dropped engineering because it wasn't for me, right? And so the next one, I took some English classes as electives, but I love those. Again, watch my videos. Watch the way that I was embraced by my teachers and fostered the importance of reading, the importance of writing, the importance of doing the things that I'm doing right now. So again, your support system, your village, right? Keep them included. Make sure that you course correct based on not just one person's opinion, but talk to several people and ask them the same question and ask them to analyze where you're at and see if you can course correct, because self-perception can at times lead to misinformation. Again, self-perception at times can lead to misinformation. So again, make sure your village is here. Your support system is here. Take advantage of those things. Life body balance, right? I'm always balancing my life and my body. Again, 6 miles today. I made some videos. I'm doing this video. I love it. I love making videos. I'm an introvert. Remember, I don't like to talk. But when I get started, and I get started because I'm giving you something that I either paid to learn or that I taught myself or I learned it the hard way, I want to make sure that you get this, that you get it easier, that you can take it step by step by step. So whenever you have a self-perception, talk to somebody. Talk to at least 2 people. Get their point of view. And then you can make the best decisions of how to deal with what you're perceiving. Till next time, back on basics.